Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We are back with another episode of Pakistan Means Business. I'm Saira Pervez Khan, and on this platform, we acknowledge the contributions of our corporate sector, our silent heroes who are supporting the country's economy through thick and thin. Today, we have got with us Ms. Zartaj Ahmed. As you know, we highly regard entrepreneurs and young business people. So she is one of the representatives of entrepreneurs in Pakistan. Let's hear from her about her journey, how she started, and where does her startup stand now. Welcome, Ms. Zartaj.
Thank you very much, Saira. Great to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to be here at your program. So as you've told everyone, I am Zartaj Ahmed, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Qriosity. Qriosity is basically a professional network for students, and that helps them in their career growth. So since you've asked me about my journey and how I started, I'm going to talk about that first, and then I'm going to talk about Qriosity. I'm basically a software engineer by qualification, and I had been working in the corporate sector for about a decade. And this will help you calculate my age as well. But, you know, during my corporate career, obviously I got married and then I had kids. So, you know, there were hiccups in my career, I would say. Because I had to give time to my family. So after that, being in the tech space and in the tech career, when I sat home because of my kids for about 3 years and took a break, I wasn't very confident when I wanted to come back to work, because the tech sector or the tech industry rapidly advances. And so I wasn't too sure if I'll be able to fit in, right? So I underestimated the job of a school, and I started working as a teacher, as a computer science teacher at Haq Academy. And I'm talking about 2010 now. When I started, you know, teaching, that was a life-changing experience for me. And that completely transformed the way I approached my career and associated things. Since my kids were young at that time, the school job worked well, but there were too many opportunities that I did not want to let go of. I started teaching robotics, and so I entered into the STEM education space. We all hear a lot about STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And that is taught in a blended learning and project-based learning and teaching approach. So that was, you know, my start of STEM education through robotics. And we all remember Lego from our childhood, I'm sure. I'm sure you played with Lego. Those Lego kits were actually having electronic components, and they were programmable. So the kids in the school, when they were taught about robotics that way and taught about programming, they got very, very engaged. And I got a very good response from the students in that school. And so that gave me an idea that, I mean, the experience that I got was that the kids who struggle in the classroom are not considered good students or weak students. They actually were very active and creative in my robotics classes. And that was sort of something that helped me understand that the kids today, they learn in a very different way, and they want to be taught using hands-on methods. And that completely changed my perspective. So from there, I went on to establish Pakistan's first STEM education institute in Karachi, which was called Robotics Labs. And then I introduced programs like First Lego League, First Global, World Robot Olympiad in Pakistan for a very small group of students. But I think we did offer them, you know, this opportunity. And so today I take teams from Pakistan to international competitions, and these are kids teams. So kids, you know, aged 10 years and above, I would take them to international competitions by coaching them. And so this is what led me into establishing my own startups that relate to STEM education and space science education, and
Very nice.
also led to QriosityNet, which is the most recent product that I'm working on, which relates to career guidance and coaching. So that was sort of, I'm sorry for taking a long time for my brief journey, but I fast forwarded quite a bit.
And it's pretty unique, the kind of domain that you have chosen for yourself. Not only is that unique, I'm sure the spellings of QriosityNet are also very unique when I first
I
saw
know
the
it's
spellings.
spelled.
Well, that's a nice way. So tell us a bit about
Yeah.
Curiosity. How was that founded?
Sure. So QriosityNet was born during pandemic, and I know that people have had a difficult time dealing with the pandemic and its challenges. Some have lost jobs. At the same time, I'm very grateful to Allah Ta'ala that I have been very, very busy in terms of my startups. So what happened was that all of this journey dealing with students and parents and being in a school environment, I got the opportunity to also experience and reflect on the fact that our students who are graduating from universities are not really prepared for the workplace. There's a huge gap in terms of the skills and experience that they're expected to have. And so every employer wants an experienced person, but unfortunately, during the student life, our students are not prepared or given that exposure and experience. Even today, a lot of internships are just, routine tasks not related to the field that a student is pursuing, right? So they don't have the right experience to be at their workplace and be confident. What hurt me most was when I meet these young people who are about to graduate and about to start their career, they are disappointed and concerned about finding jobs in their field. And so in order to, I mean, when I see a young person disappointed, that hurts me the most. And I have been talking about this with so many people that this is something we need to solve. We need to handhold these students during their student life and give them that exposure and experience that is needed for them to land a great job as soon as they graduate, right? So they don't have to wait out for 2-3 years and waste that time, honestly. So this is why QriosityNet was born. You can simply understand it if I say that it's a LinkedIn for students. And so this means that it has opportunities like internships, jobs that are relevant to students who are starting their career or who are actively studying in university. They haven't graduated, but they can avail the internship and scholarship opportunities for further education and for gaining experience. We at Curiosity hire, and that's our mission, to hire students who are currently studying, be it college students, be it university students, and we groom them to make them employable. And that's a challenge that we have taken on ourselves. We just dedicate this time for their learning. And then we see amazing people coming out. They're doing amazing things with us. They're exploring new avenues. And that is, I think, very fulfilling and rewarding for us as a team. So that is what QriosityNet is. And it was launched in March 2021, so just last month. And so far, we've onboarded 1,000 students from different universities in Pakistan and from the US, and some from Sri Lanka and Bangladesh as well. And students and universities, they're very forthcoming. They're very happy with this platform because it's a professional network. Unlike a lot of other websites that provide similar opportunities, our unique selling proposition is that we are a community. Students join these communities, they discuss about their issues, they have groups to talk to relevant people, like-minded people who are taking them from where they are. On LinkedIn, I feel that students get lost among the experienced people, the professional people. They don't find relevant opportunities. And just a day ago, I was talking at a webinar where one of the students questioned me that LinkedIn makes it very depressing for us because people are, posting about their opportunities, about taking up a new role, about different things that they're achieving. And we at the start of our career, we feel so demotivated and concerned that will we be able to reach that stage? So I think at that point, it's very important to have a common platform where all these students can come in and know that, okay, the other person is also a student and facing the same challenges as I am. So that sort of gives a community feel and being together with so many other people at the same level.
Got it. Okay. So this industry academia gap, that is also a topic which is very close to my heart. So I would like to discuss one particular problem or an area which needs attention with you, and that is of semester projects or final year projects. Now, these projects are such where students are required to contact the companies and get the projects from them. It is preferred that a semester project or a final year project should be done in collaboration with a commercial organization. However, for students, it is a very difficult task, more of an uphill task to find out a company which will share data with them. That's the biggest problem. They want certain kind of NDAs and recommendations from teachers that there will be non-disclosure of the data, of course, that is their right.
Right.
So only the students who have some contacts in their family, or some of them have the family businesses, for them it is easier to get connected with commercial organizations. But then the lackluster feature in their projects is that for every subject, their project is always with that one company because that's their family business. So I'm not sure if all of the domains, such as electrical engineering or mechanical engineering, have this problem, but I'm definitely sure of software engineering and the business side, because I've done my bachelor's in software engineering and then my master's in business education. So I know for sure that these are the two areas where we are encouraged to contact the companies and select our semester projects and final year projects, of course, with some commercial organization. But to find out those commercial organizations and then get consent from them is an issue in itself. So half of the semester is lost in contacting different kind of people. And I must appreciate LinkedIn over there, that during my MBA, LinkedIn proved to be very beneficial, because if you send out messages to 10 or 20 people, at least 25% of them are humble enough to respond back to you, and they would allow you to do some kind of project with the students. However, still, they are not very satisfied about the non-disclosure side of the project, and they would prefer it coming from an HOD or some faculty, that the project is assigned to probably NUST or some other institution rather than a one-to-one connection with the students. So what do you think about this problem? Is there a solution for this problem? Because I myself, I'm very interested in finding out a solution where the students should have a portal and all of the projects should be listed over there. It should not be students' job to search for a project. They can do the project, but at least the searching part, they should be facilitated in the searching part of it. So what's your take?
I am so grateful that you asked this question, Saira, honestly, because I've got the solution, but it will take time for people to understand it and to actually roll it out. And when we talk about QriosityNet, the more we explore it in terms of all the problems that we see related to a university student or a college student, the more I feel strongly about this platform that yes, it is going to solve these problems. Now, in the area that you've highlighted, I'm an external evaluator for final year projects for quite a few universities. And so the problem is on both the ends, I'll tell you. I will tell you the students part first. On the student side, I always go and ask them, how many man hours have you invested in this project? And to date, with no offense to anyone who I've evaluated, to date, I haven't found anybody who has given me a confident number of hours. Obviously, I don't have at that point in time a way to verify what they're saying, but a confident number coming from these students. No, I haven't got that. Okay, that's problem number one. I'm sure all these universities are teaching project management, particularly to the software engineering and to electrical mechanical engineering students. Where is the learning from there? In your final year project, it's not reflected. That's problem number one. We have to enforce this. We have to force our students to make sure that these are the basics of a project management of a project that you need to cover. Gantt chart. Students are not even aware. It's a basic thing. You can make it on Google Sheets. You can make it on Excel sheet. Just list down the tasks that are there, assign it to a human being, which is a resource working on it, put down the hours, start date, end date. That's as simple as that. And so this problem with students, I recently posted a job for my organization, Curiosity. We're looking for brand ambassadors. I posted it on Facebook. And I'm glad you brought up the point that you were able to find at least 25% of responses. We want to improve that percentage to 80 or 90%, and hence QriosityNet is made, right? So now if you are on this platform and you use the feature of QriosityNet groups, you have a group that assigns projects. We have 3 different profiles that are constantly posting every single day numerous opportunities. So there's a profile called internships, there's a profile called scholarships, and there is one called events and competitions. We have 3 categories. I can very easily add another profile for projects, for final year projects. I can make study groups. I can make final year project guideline groups. I have a very strong network of partners from around the world who can guide students on FYP, but I need commitment from students. Now, the point where you mentioned that these organizations, if they want these students to work on real projects, there has to be some commitment. Some, NDA has to be signed because it's their real customer data. And obviously they will be concerned about it. So there's no harm in that if they're coming through the university. Now imagine if the university has their profile on QriosityNet, they are going to assign the group of students with a verified stamp that yes, they are our students and they are eligible to apply for a project, and we take that responsibility. And then the university is backing up those students. So that sort of gives the employer, an authenticity about that group. And then I believe that for any such student groups, there should be a contract signed to hold them accountable. And this in itself is an experience of a real life project. I'll tell you, I'm part of these, robotics competitions that I told you. These are school-based programs. All these programs, so I talk about Destination Imagination or First Lego League, they require proper documentation from the students in school, kids in school. And they go through each and every step of reaching out to the community, of sharing their solution to the community. These are the programs we need in Pakistan. And so when I introduced it in Pakistan at the grassroots level, which is schools, because the change has to come from there. Our kids have to become used to the fact that projects are run like that. And I'm not talking about only the top tier schools who offer project-based learning, but I'm talking about putting it out there for everyone, for public schools. Why not? This is what needs to be done. And we need teachers to be trained on it. There should be a rubric around that project that, yes, I have a checklist. I've done this, this, this. And so I'm there. And so at the university level, if we're doing this at the school level, I don't see any problem at the university level because the students are used to it. So there has to be efforts made at the grassroots level, at the college level, even university, all 4 years of your degree. If your professors and people are committed to doing that, and that is what QriosityNet is set to provide, honestly. We're reaching out to institutions, to their placement departments, to their admissions departments, that it's very late already when the kids are in university. So get them on this platform, make them reach out to people through study groups, through groups that we have, through their profiles. Now, people don't even update their profile. If you see the student profiles on LinkedIn, they're not even completed, right? They're not even 50%. So I also feel very strongly, and that's why I'm sorry, I took a lot of time, but I thought that this is something that is close to my heart as well, because I evaluate final year projects, and this is what I see.
Exactly. And I completely agree with the fact that certain checklist of project management must be followed. But I guess when the students are personally finding out the projects, the company on the other side may agree to define a project, but they would not assign one specific resource for that particular group and check them frequently. So with the QriosityNet or QriosityNet coming in between as a bridge, you can define a protocol that this checklist is mandatory. There has to be a Gantt chart. There has to be, maybe if it is a 6 months project, then every month there should be a meeting between the company and the student group, a follow up on their work. That will put pressure on the students as well, and they learn to follow those guidelines or those protocols. It will be theoretically in project management, they have gone through it, but practically, of course, they are students, they need some kind of enforcement to produce all those deliverables. Otherwise, they'll try to avoid the deliverables as much as possible.
So I believe, like you mentioned, QriosityNet is providing all the mentoring, coaching, guidance, experts, videos, tutorials, everything, podcasts for students on this platform. And all of this is available, by the way, on the internet. We're just bringing in that free content because the platform is free for students. And we're plugging it in because this is related to your career. This is what we feel is great for you to know. People don't know how to make their resumes and all, right? Now, in terms of students reaching out to these organizations, if the university has a checklist that unless you have this, you can't reach out to an organization. And so you have to have everything in place. And so that is the challenge that you have to overcome to be able to get a project. Now, I'll tell you, I've recently recruited an intern from a university, and she's doing an amazing job. And she is working live on QriosityNet. She's part of the development team, and she's just a student. I have taken a risk, and a calculated risk, where I have taken this girl on board my team. And this is my experience, that girl has that spark, that hard work that she shows, and determination. Because a lot of times she says that, oh, I don't know this, but I can figure it out. Now that statement, that I can figure it out, shows the eagerness to learn. And she has been performing great. And I have, a success story from a lot of interns that have worked with us. We've taken them as part of our other initiative, which is a space science STEM education initiative. We train university students, we groom them. We groom them to the point as to how to dress up in a presentable way and how to present in front of anyone. I mean, we're grooming them. That is a very small number that we're touching, but we're very happy that we're doing this because this is the needed guidance that these people need. It is not taught in the university.
Great, great. That's huge achievement, I must say. And tell us something about the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Pakistan. So you are from Karachi NIC. Tell us something about Karachi NIC and also the other branches of NIC or any other entity of the entrepreneurial ecosystem that you appreciate.
Okay. So yeah, so about entrepreneurship, I think I ventured into entrepreneurship, although I had my business for about since 2018. And before that, which I don't mention, but there were, it was a lot of struggle and all, that was all the entrepreneurial journey. But if I mention about my first venturing into this space, it was with the Standard Chartered Women in Tech program. And that was back in 2019, I believe. I took that training. That was my first experience doing an entrepreneurship training because I'm a technical person. I'm a software engineer. So that was a completely different thing. And I found so much value in that in terms of my startup. And then from there, I participated in She Loves Tech. From there, I went on and I think I did a few other trainings in terms of how to manage my business's finance. There was I2I program that was offered, a training by Facebook. And then finally, I landed in NIC Karachi, which is a great, great opportunity, I must say. The trainings that are there, the mentoring, the coaching, the staff, the team over there, who's readily available. You are not even concerned. So we were virtually incubated because of COVID. We could not go to NIC that often and utilize the workspace that much, although we were always welcome. But at the same time, they made sure that our online experience of incubation is as amazing as a physical one. So, I mean, the entire team is very forthcoming. They support you as long as you're willing to do something. We ended up doing the Founder Institute, the world's best entrepreneurship training program through NIC Karachi. And I think I am very, very grateful, and grateful is a small word for the NIC team. I also happened to, connect with NIC Islamabad, which is NIC Pakistan. And while we were in Islamabad, and even that NIC was so welcoming. I think we tied up with the Team Up program over there. And so people over there were very welcoming. The support system as part of the startup ecosystem is just great. And I always encourage students in colleges and universities that if they have any idea of coming up with a business, they should give it a try and try to get incubated at one of these centers and get this training and, just see how it works. Because when you are venturing into the entrepreneurship space, you are creating jobs. And in Pakistan, I believe we need more people who create jobs rather than people who look for jobs. And so entrepreneurial mindset is also important, even if you want to look for jobs or if you want to do a job, because it's a mindset and that gives you all the knowledge and experience that you need to survive in the most, in this competitive world. So yes, entrepreneurship and financial literacy, I'm an advocate of these two things to be in the school curriculum, honestly.
Got it. Okay. So how many founders are there? What is the structure of your organization?
Right. So we're two co-founders. I'm the CEO. I have with me Nehan Farooq, who's the Chief Design Officer. And both of us have about 15 to 20 years of combined experience in education and career counseling, in professional development of teachers, and in training students. With us, we have an interim CTO, which is Sayed Naseh of the Interactive. He's also the Chief Technology Officer. Besides that, we have, a person taking care of the legal aspect, the finance aspect, and we have brand ambassadors and social media manager who's just helping us promote QriosityNet to the masses.
Okay, and what's your outreach? Is it all over Pakistan or is it limited to Karachi and the big cities?
Okay, so the outreach in terms of Pakistan it's all of Pakistan. And besides Pakistan, we are now reaching out in the US because there have been interest from the US, and I am part of some initiatives that involve people from the US and Canada. I'm also a design thinking trainer, and we work collaboratively with Back2Back, which is based in Australia. So I'm a part of this great designer group. So, we are now launching QriosityNet, I think in June in the US. So we're doing that groundwork, laying out that groundwork now and partnering with organizations over there. Also because US and Canada are favorite destinations for international destinations for education, for further education. So that is the other reason that we're going into those regions. So yeah, that is it about QriosityNet.
Okay, got it. So how do you see the role of the government? Is it forthcoming? Are they encouraging to the entrepreneur, especially in the domain of education? Or do you find there is a gap which needs to be filled?
Okay. In terms of government, we know that governments everywhere are slow. Unless they see that you have those big numbers of impact, unless they see that, I don't think, I mean, I haven't been successful, and that may have been just me, but I haven't been successful in getting anything to fruition when it comes to government. I know that there is something good that I'm doing. There is impact, but it's still small. From the government, I expect that there should be support in terms of startups. There should be a little fund that they can give to startup founders and they can mess up with it. But if they give it to 100 startups, I'm sure 10 would come around and do something with it. This is exactly what a VC does. This is exactly what some banks do. They give you loans, but then you ruin your credit history if you're unable to do that. And startup founders honestly cannot afford that. So that support from the government, if it comes, I think that would be great. And I would say that it should come for college and university students. Just give them a little amount to try out their stuff. Honestly, that learning will be a great experience for these people. And I'm sure that if somebody fails first time, the second time they would know what they don't have to do. So I believe that government support is very important because the startup founders need that financial support, particularly to play around with their ideas, to get creative. And creativity is something that we have to nurture. And that is how we bring forward the innovators and put the nation on the economic growth, the path of economic growth.
Exactly, very right, right. Okay, so what is your take on these clubs like the Toastmasters Club, which are focusing on improving the soft skills? Do you in future plan to start a Toastmasters Club probably of your own? The kind of work that you're doing for the students is very much aligned with the goals and objectives of Toastmasters, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I would say the Toastmasters Club can join us and have their club as established as a company page, as an organization that's working, because they will find all the youth on QriosityNet. So we're looking at such partnerships where organizations and institutions that work with students should be a part of QriosityNet so that they know that they will find students and the youth on this platform and offer them the exact thing. So soft skills training, entrepreneurship training, financial literacy, anything that has to do with students has to be on QriosityNet. And we're finding those links and partnerships and forming those collaborations because we've just started out. And I think down the, 6 months down the line, I believe we'll have a great partner network supporting these students. And they will have one common platform. They would know that this is the platform where we find students. And the students would know that this is where we find all relevant opportunities, not asking for experience and giving us the opportunity to try out stuff.
Right, right. So when you say that this is a free portal for the students, then what is your revenue model? Is it coming from the other end?
Yeah, so you know that universities, institutions, they place advertisements, they have job listings. There are premium subscriptions for students, but those premium features are still being developed. Currently, the platform is free for students, but we're charging the organizations and the institutions to offer their services to these students because we know students don't have a lot of money. But there are some premium features that will be introduced it is short term in a couple of months that will be premium. And so that will be another revenue stream for us. So yeah, this is our revenue model.
Okay, got it. And you also said that you will be interested in collaborating with public schools as well, so that these all services are advertised and they are known to the common students as well. So, what are
Right.
the steps that you are taking for that purpose?
So as I mentioned that regardless of the background, any and every student or fresh graduate is welcome to create their profile. Now, having said that, we see that students from the public organizations, public schools particularly, and colleges don't have that exposure. And so we say that QriosityNet is an equitable platform and an inclusive platform. We promote girls to be on the platform and find opportunities. We promote students from all backgrounds to come on this. And that is why it is free, so that nobody feels that it's heavy on my pocket. It is available on a mobile phone. You can access it. It's a very light platform, no need of high-speed internet. So all of those things are there, and you can access it on a slow-speed internet as well. So those things are there. We provide trainings, as I mentioned, that a lot of these students need guidance as to how should I make my resume, right? And how should it be effective? How should I approach an interview? Like somebody was speaking with me, I think today or yesterday. Now, how do I even dress up for an interview? How do I answer those interview questions? I'm part of quite a few Facebook groups where I see these questions being raised that, hey, I've got this job opportunity. I've got this interview call from this organization. What questions will be asked? So guidelines on interviews. How do you appear for interview without getting nervous? And so all of these trainings and mentoring is available on this platform and through this platform. So that is why I encourage students, fresh graduates from all backgrounds to join QriosityNet and benefit from it today.
Okay, got it. And as far as your advertising strategy is concerned, is it limited to social media, or are you in touch with, let's say, the education department, the provincial education departments, or maybe some head offices or the placement offices of some large schools and colleges, so as to let the students know about your platform?
Right. So social media marketing is big right now, and we're reaching out to school networks. We're reaching out to universities and colleges. We have done orientations for universities with their placement departments, with their admission departments. So we're reaching out. And just a while ago, I mentioned about brand ambassadors. We're having brand ambassadors who are students at different universities to promote about QriosityNet, do campus drives in their universities. Obviously, COVID makes it a little difficult, and we're restricted to the online and digital media. But apart from that, we're reaching out to universities. We're sending them letters with posters to put on softboards. So students, when they come to their institutions, they can see that, yes, this is something. So in terms of advertising and outreach, this is what we're doing. And we're partnering with student societies. All of these colleges and universities have a lot of these student societies where students are active. We're reaching out to them again using digital means because of the situation of COVID currently. But definitely campus drives are a hot favorite. We've been asked to come over, visit the campuses, and that would be very effective, we feel. So we get the students to sign up then and there and see the power of the platform.
Very nice. Okay. And what is the role of Pakistan Software Export Board or PASHA? Do they like to have a conversation with the entrepreneurs very frequently, or is that a rare scene?
I haven't had a conversation yet. Honestly, we're waiting for a good number of students to be on the platform. And so we reach out to HEC then, to PSEB, to PASHA, all these organizations, because they want to see those big numbers, right? So we're just waiting out a couple more months so that we can justify to them that, yes, this is something to be considered, to be looked at from their point of view. So I have to find answers and give them what they want to hear. in just a couple of months, because I'm pretty sure the kind of response that we're getting from the students, from the institutions is just amazing. And that's very promising, I would say. So then we're going to reach out to them, and I'm sure that they will be, open to the idea.
Okay, got it. And in terms of online payments, do you feel any glitches in our system, or maybe just as you're saying that you are going to expand to US and Canada? So do you think that the lack of PayPal and other modes of payment, that is kind of an obstruction in your expansion, or is that not affecting your business?
Currently, it's not, but as soon as we start payments on our platform, it is. Because if we're reaching out to international companies and organizations, that is an issue. When payments start coming in, the amount that you're charged on any international transaction is huge. And so you have to sort of plan accordingly as to what medium to use. I know there's quite a lot of solutions coming up. And that's the reason we've got our company registered in the US as well, with a bank account over there, so that payments could be made easily and without any hurdles. But I would greatly appreciate if PayPal could be in Pakistan. So that would be a dream come true, I would say. But in order for companies like us to do international business, I think the government has to look into this and has to come up with solutions that make it easy for payments to be transferred from Pakistan outside and from outside to this country, because that is something that is needed, obviously.
Okay, got it. And about the IPO, there has been a news that probably for entrepreneurs, there's going to be a separate market where it will be easier for the new startups to become public and to maybe circulate their shares amongst the public and raise certain amount of funds for themselves.
Yeah.
So are you in favor of this idea? Do you think that's a good direction in which the government is thinking?
I think it would be good. And it sort of gives you more avenues from where you can look for funding for your startup. So I'm in favor of this, yes.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so it was very nice talking to you. In the end, if you would like to give us some recommendations about book reading, about some podcast that you would suggest to us, please feel free to share.
Okay, so I would like to recommend Reid Hoffman, who's the co-founder of LinkedIn. We've been following his videos, the way he works, and his, the way he thinks. I think because since we are making a platform, and this platform has so much inspiration from LinkedIn, I believe that he's one person to follow. There are quite a lot of podcasts available, and through QriosityNet, obviously, we're sharing those, whatever we feel are good for students and fresh graduates. A lot of things around soft skills, a lot of trainings around financial literacy, and also these are free trainings. I have recently come across a Google career certification that offers free of cost. So part of it is charged, it is paid. But the free of cost certifications and courses, they tell you how to use digital tools to organize yourselves. And I feel that this is something very basic. A lot of people know about these tools, but they don't really know how to effectively utilize those. And finally, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, I would highly recommend reading the Lean Startup Guide. So I think that's one book that was recommended to me, and I am reading it. I still haven't completed it. But I think that there is so much to relate to with that book. And yeah, so I mean, I'm not a book reader myself, because honestly, I read a lot online. I read a lot of, content through the websites, and I watch a lot of videos to self-learn. I'm a huge advocate of self-learning, and I encourage people to explore that and see the power. I mean, don't be dependent on somebody to give you that training. There's so much content out there that we don't have that amount of time in our lifetimes to go over that content. So yes, I mean, utilize the resource, which is internet, to learn about so many other things that are there. So thank you very much once again for having me and giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and my journey. Thank you very much, Saira.
No problem. It was a pleasure for me. And probably I think the one topic that I did not touch with you is the President Initiative on AI and robotics. So are you in some way trying to leverage on that program as well? Are you a part of that or want to contribute towards that in some way? QriosityNet can become a partner with this initiative?
So basically, QriosityNet has the AI elements and the features, and we are looking at the AI aspect of it. Robotics is very much part of me and is close to my heart. As I mentioned, that I'm a certified robotics trainer, and I'm an international judge for these leading robotics competitions. So I go there every year to the US to judge these competitions. And so, yes, because I'm such a huge fan and I see the usefulness, I would say, of AI and its application in quite a lot of fields. And the intervention of AI and tech has changed the jobs that are there today and that will be there in the future. So yes, there are synergies between QriosityNet and AI and robotics initiatives, certainly. And I would love to explore more around that. Currently, I'm looking into blockchain and AI a lot because I'm seeing how we can benefit from these technologies in QriosityNet. And it seems that there's quite a lot that can be done and QriosityNet can be improved multifold if we use these technologies.
Wonderful. I wish you best of luck. And this all seems so very impressive. And I really wish that Pakistan stands in the line of top 5 or top 10 people producing AI graduates and robotics experts. And we have all the talent. It is just to steer them and provide them a direction. On the freelancing platform, Pakistanis are doing a great job. And even the Forbes list of 30 under 30, I've heard that this time they are like at least 40% or 30%, more than 30% of the people are from Pakistani background. And that's a huge, huge achievement.
Right, certainly.
Thank you. Thank you, Zartaj. Maybe 6 months down the lane, we'll talk again and we'll see where does the startup stand then. Best of luck. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.